Alright guys, NoFluxes here. I'm going to do an explanation video on what's going on with the current situation. I understand that a lot of people are angry, and I understand that a lot of people, you know, see what they see on Twitter, and they often ride with the word, but you need to hear me out on the situation because I'll give you the full context from the very beginning of what happened, straight to the facts. I even have everything timestamped. And basically, first thing you need to know, obviously everyone's aware that I have a clip that went very viral during Riptide. I'm going to explain why I got banned and why it wasn't handled professionally by the TOs. And we will explain in this video that in the clip, there was a gorilla that was seen, and it is a Harambe meme. It is a Harambe reference that was already there prior to anything accused against me. Any accusation used, any allegations regarding that, I will show you that the Harambe meme existed prior to it. And there are many people that are already using it. So I will start that here. So the first thing we see is top player acts. Yeah, this is a recent one. This is actually only a couple days before the incident. And he acknowledged it on the wall. You know, no offense taken. Everything was good. It was a meme. Everything was peaceful still. Here's J-Mook. And he also acknowledged it a couple days prior to the incident as well. Now we go back to last year, where we say that Logan, you know, he's also a top player. He's currently ranked 2. Last year he acknowledged it, and he told everyone in the community that basically every room pretty much had Harambe there as a poster, and it became a known meme. It kind of blew up, and people just started taking selfies with it and just kind of showing it because it looks like he's staring at you in the room. And you know, it was a funny thing. It's always been like a tradition of Riptide since last year, by the way, not this year. It was already there, and it fell into this year, and we continued to use it. Which, by the way, I did show the previous pictures of J-Mook and Axe, who used it prior to my tweet. Now, yeah, this is another one from last year, and yeah, it's just confirming that the venue really actually got the real Harambe, you know, because it's near Ohio, and this is actually where the real incident happened from in the past. So they still idolize Harambe in the location. And it's really a meme here. It's actually the real deal. It's not like just a random gorilla. It actually is the real Harambe. And this is one more just to confirm that it really is him. And that's pretty much for now. I've shown what I need to show. And if anyone's going to argue with me and say that, like, I'm the first guy to use the meme and I used it in any offensive way, even though nobody suggested it was ever a racial thing. Nobody suggested it was ever linked to anyone's race. And all of a sudden later on, people started to say that it was offensive when I used it. So moving forward, we're going to show how it led up to the situation of me being banned. So the first thing to show is actually, this is the result of me playing doubles. I teamed with my partner, Eggy, and you know, we did well overall. We got 9th place, right? Losing to a team of Secrets and Justice, the man who accused me of being racist. But we will go further into that shortly. So basically what really happened here is that he, at first, both of them were probably aware of my post. Both Secrets and Justice probably saw that I said this. However, keep in mind that, hold on, let me get this camera a little bit out of the way here. Okay, here we go. So keep in mind that in this situation, I actually was not being toxic. Now, if they want to perceive it, if anyone wants to perceive this as being toxic or BM, that's fine, but I did not actually say anything hateful. I did not use a slur here. I didn't even insult them personally in any way. All I said was that they're popping off their seats over dubs, and that, I was unfazed in the situation. I took it well. I didn't get salty. I didn't say anything to them. I walked it off, and I got some food after, right? So the timestamp of this shows 6:16 p.m. The Friday of this weekend. The Friday that it happened. So we can look at it timestamped 6:16, right? And now we will go to the next point of evidence. So okay, shortly after that, right after that, he actually instigates a fight. In my opinion, he instigates a fight here by doing this. And whether or not anyone wants to agree with that, it's still personal now when he calls me a short mutt, which he thinks is funny, or regardless of, the fact that he wasn't maybe aware entirely that this is a slur and it's actually slang language. Whether or not he was aware of that, he did also make fun of my height. He also went out of his way to name me a specific kind of dog. So this is uncalled for, it's personal. And he also was saying it in a filthy way. He was not saying it in a friendly way. So regardless, this is already crossing the line. This is personal. I didn't say anything first. I showed you the old tweet right here where all I said was that these guys are popping off their seats over dubs. I didn't make it personal, but he went out of his way. Justice went out of his way to make it personal. And Secrets as well did, but I'm not going to go into that one because he didn't call me a mutt. And even though he called me a dog, we're not going to acknowledge him anymore from this point. He was just in on it. Maybe he definitely was mad at me already. And maybe he even pressured Justice to make this tweet. Regardless, it doesn't matter because the fact is, this is the one that made it really personal. So moving forward, it's important to show the timestamp of this one because you can see that this is at 7:12 p.m. So this proves that this was right after my first tweet showing that I said the thing about them popping off their seats. So he makes it at 7:12 p.m. and it was disrespectful, and a lot of the community doesn't understand that he crossed the line. He actually instigated something, and it was after my innocent tweet compared to what he said. I did not make it personal. I did not use a slur. I did not say anything about his appearance or his race. But he did make it personal. He did instigate it. So moving forward, now we have proof that it's timestamped right there at 7:12 p.m. So the whole point is I had posted already shortly after. Okay, 7:37 p.m. Right. So that's when I posted my famous clip of me standing near the gorilla saying justice ain't shit, and regardless, never once did I actually mention his race. Never once in the clip did I ever call him a gorilla or ape. I never acknowledged the comparison. I never even made a link. People are telling me now that there is a link, and so I will go deep into this topic because I don't feel that it's right for people to be making this link between any race and apes, and I don't see a connection. And if anyone is saying there is one, then I will say that it is seen as racist to be suggesting there is a connection because I didn't have that in mind when I shot it. I shot the clip because it was a Harambe meme known at Riptide as a tradition. And if people are going to say that I'm lying, then you could say that, but that's your problem if you're going to just accuse me of everything here. The whole point is this is me being honest. This is me being sincere, and I just shot it as a meme. It was just me standing near it because it's a Riptide meme. And I had evidence from the beginning of the video showing you that it was prior to the incident happening. It always was a meme, and it's nothing new. And regardless, people are angry. I know that, but you have to consider that I'm not the first one that used it. And I did not acknowledge this man's race. I did not compare him to the ape. All I ever did was just say justice ain't shit near it because I was trying to be funny and something that I already do for my own stream. I always say that about anyone, and I never once had an issue with anyone's race, and if anything, it does not make any sense for him to make this accusation out of nowhere when I've actually had good things to say about many black community members, such as Salt, Subkun, my mod, and many others that definitely have known me a long time, to suggest that, look, I'm really a homie and there's never been any tension or any bad vibes. I've never once shown any tendency to be racist in any way. I myself am a minority. I'm Mexican, I'm Spanish, and people maybe aren't aware of what my background is, and maybe they see light skin on me and they just assume that I could be white, but I'm just going to go further into detail and tell you guys that I am Hispanic, I am mostly Mexican, but I have light skin. But the whole point is, there's never been a case that I've ever been racist. And for Justice to put that onto me, because he did, as soon as he made this tweet, which was clearly timestamped at 7:39. So now he's gonna actually say, okay, that I started after I put this out, right? But again, we know by the old timestamps that he actually instigated the fight, and people are trying to dismiss that. People are dismissing that he started it, and he did use a slur, even if it's slang language. He did make it personal first, and all I did was laugh near a poster that's already used as a meme. And I did not acknowledge any comparison to his race. I did not ever make a link, and I also would like to add to this that Eggy, my friend, was in the room while I shot it, and he knows for a fact that there was nothing there in mind. We both weren't considering anything about how this could be linked to his race, because that's not right. It's not right to be thinking that way. And for anyone to say that there is a connection and that it's a joke already and that, this and that about that, that's not cool, man. And I will say that, like, for anyone to be thinking that way, it appears racist. I've never seen it. I've never seen a comparison there. And what I will say going into this is that the TO himself, confronted me about it shortly after, because Justice, made this tweet go viral, and all of his fan base, along with new people, were coming at me aggressively. Were labeling me as a racist now, and this led to me being banned. So let's go forward, and I'll show you the evidence where this is the TO. This is his username on Discord, and he does go by Aaron, and he did organize the event, but the problem here is that it was unprofessional. The problem here is that Aaron was very dismissive towards his behavior, and he straight up accused me of being racist, and he said, look, it appears racist. Yo, you pointed the camera at the poster on purpose. It's already a joke. And you know what? I'm saying this, and if he wants to lie about it, and if he wants to say that I'm changing the words up, then that's on him. But look, I swear on this that it was his words, and when we were talking about this privately, face to face, by the way, because you know what? Okay, I'll get to that point right now. What I am gonna say is that, so he bans me in a direct message over Discord. He literally bans me, pulls me out of the whole event after I made all the effort to travel 6 hours out, after the money I put into the event and everything. This guy actually has the nerves to, pull me out like that over a direct message instead of handling it face to face. And I was not cool with that at all, because of course I'd be angry. I spent money, I spent so much time preparing, and he's gonna do that to me this way. So I said, okay, and I called him, and I said, all right, look, this is a misunderstanding, and this is like something we could shake on. This is something we could, make up. We could make up on this, and I was willing to make up, and I told the TO many times that I wanted to talk to Justice face to face. I was willing to shake his hand on it. I was willing to literally clear it all up. And regardless, maybe he felt he wanted an apology, but Justice did not even make an effort whatsoever to even allow me the chance to clear it up. Justice made no effort. He, in fact, instead of making an effort, he made it worse. And I'll show you why shortly, but let me explain this situation first. So, Aaron the TO, he, regardless of how much he's into Melee and the scene, he doesn't know everyone. But what I will say is that we did talk face to face, but he definitely did it in a shady way where he said, all right, let's meet up, somewhere. And then he suggested in front of the hotel registration because he didn't want me in the venue. he didn't allow me to be in the venue anymore. He did not allow me to be in the Riptide venue because maybe he couldn't handle it well and he just didn't like what was going viral. I understand that, but the way he set it up was like, all right, it's got to be one-on-one, let's talk. And then so we met up over there by the hotel registration. We talked it out face to face, and he was already kind of giving me bad vibes. He was already kind of just like dismissing everything that I was saying. But the first thing he did say was that it looks racist, and he pulls up the tweet in front of me, literally plays it again, and he's saying, look, you angle it this way. And he also says that, oh, there is a link between apes and black people, and it's always been used as a joke. So when he said this, I was thinking, well, this is a really racist thing to say because, like, that's coming out of his mouth. He's the one that said that. He's the one on the spot that actually confronted me and said that there is a link. Now, I don't think it's right for these people, anyone on Twitter who's mad at me, or anyone who's saying that it is racist to automatically be making this connection in their minds. For anyone that's making this connection and keeps saying that it is racist, it's, what, you guys need to look at it that way, is that you guys are the ones that are thinking messed up stuff. I didn't shoot it in any way intending on it to be racist. And there was nothing, again, you could watch my clip, it's still up, because I'm not trying to get rid of evidence. This is the reason why it's still up, right? Because it is evidence in the situation. And of course, if I delete it, it's getting rid of evidence, and of course, it makes me look shady and suspicious if I were to do that. So we leave it up, and if they try to actually take this further, we know it's still up. I didn't tamper with anything. It's still there, and you know that it's there to look at as many times as you need to. But there was never once where I indicated that there's anything there. Like, all I said was that the guy ain't shit, and I meant that in the game. I didn't say anything about his race. I didn't acknowledge him in any other way than the game. All I said is he ain't shit. I never acknowledged his race, and as far as I know, a lot of people in the community and even in the Ultimate community they probably weren't aware at all of who this guy was, and maybe a lot of people weren't even aware that he was black. And what I will say is that there was never any intention there of, oh, let's make fun of him. No, it's not because he was black. It's just because I was just memeing. I was just literally just like standing near the thing, when it was shot, laughing. But I never said anything about him being black ever. I never even compared him to an ape. So, come on, guys. You got to reason with me. And I know anyone can say, oh, it looks bad. Anyone can say it looks bad. But just because something looks bad based off hearsay, based off a misunderstanding, based off speculation, does not mean that objectively it is bad. Does not mean that objectively I was being racist, because this is still a matter of people that are upset. And furthermore, I cannot change how people feel. I've had a lot of people turn on me. I've had a lot of people just DMing me, telling me I need to apologize and that I was in the wrong and that I'm the one who needs to fix it. But I'm clarifying everything. I'm showing you all the facts. And going forward, now that I've shown you the timestamps and everything, the next thing I show is that so after this, it didn't go well. Like, he just didn't he didn't really care, right? Aaron didn't care about my explanation about it being a misunderstanding and how it wasn't shot in a way to anger anyone. It wasn't racial ever. He didn't care. And on top of that, I actually told him, look, Justice was the one throwing insults. Like, I have the tweets to show that he was the one that actually started it. And he was like, oh, I don't know anything about that. I didn't hear anything about that. And I told him, well, I could show it. I could pull it up in front of you. And he started trying to run from the situation after. And you know what? Like, I even told him I'm a minority. Like, come on, man. Like, why would I do this? I'm a minority. And he was like, oh, it doesn't matter that you're a minority. It still looks racist. So keep that in mind. This guy told me that to my face. That it doesn't matter that I'm a minority. Even though I'm Mexican, even though I came from a bad situation and a hard upbringing, he's just going to say it doesn't matter that I'm a minority to my face. So Aaron was in the wrong for not only accusing me right away of being a racist, but he also literally told me that to my face. That it doesn't matter. And he just didn't even allow me the chance to talk it out with justice. He didn't even allow me the chance to go in the venue. He threatened me, saying that he's gonna get security involved in direct messages. He literally has not refunded me yet. He's done nothing to compensate. He's done nothing to make me feel better about the situation. And the other problem I have with this is that Unsure was the other TO who really should have taken responsibility for this. Unsure should have actually been able to shut this down, have me and Justice talk it out. If they wanted me to take the tweet down right away because it was, they looked at it as something bad and something that was causing a lot of tension. Look, Unsure should have been able to, right away message me or call me to meet with him and said, look, this is bad. You guys need to settle this. Take it down. And, if you don't take it down, I'm going to pull you out. That's what he should have told me, right? Instead, Unsure did not even bother trying to contact me. And he sent this guy who just was careless about the situation, who was dismissive about even Justice insults towards me. And regardless, Aaron did not really stick around. He just kind of left me hanging. He just told me at the end of the conversation, he was like, you know what, you need to try to get a hold of Justice and try to fix it yourself. And I told him, well, look, can you at least try to contact them and middleman it? Can you at least middleman it and get him here and we could talk it out? We could shake on it face to face. And he was like, you know what, I'm not gonna scrub your back and this and that. And basically, he's not gonna help me. That's what he said. And I was pretty pissed off about this. I was shaking my head and everything in front of him because I felt like this guy was unprofessional. And this guy didn't even bother trying to man up and, address it like the TO he's supposed to be. So, look, if Aaron doesn't like me and Aaron has a personal problem with me and he wants to pin this all on me in the end, that's fine. If he wants to keep me banned from anything relating to what he runs, that's fine. But just know that he did not handle it professionally. He let Justice off. He let him get away with his behavior, and he was being toxic to people in the venue. He was being toxic to my doubles partner later. But what I will say is that, so after this incident, it still continued, right? It still continued because people were still making accusations that I'm racist and that surely it must be true because it's so easy for them to look at a clip of me just standing near an ape saying some guy ain't shit, and supposedly that makes me a racist, even though, it was never had anything to do with his race. It never was mentioned that he was black or, never once where I compared him to any animal, by the way. So, the last thing I will show is that, so there's actually a couple other things I'll show, but, what I need to show, I guess, is that, so keep in mind, Justice didn't make any attempt to actually clear it up. He didn't make any attempt to clear it up. He could have tried to, at least face-to-face settle it, or he could have at least told them, alright, don't ban him over this, it was just a joke, I get it. But instead, he actually went out of his way to even brag, and I will pull that one up too. Give me a second here. But he actually went out of his way to brag. And what I mean that is that he literally, in a different tweet, let me pull this up. This is actually before that. So this is one that happened before. So this is at 9:31 p.m. So this is right after the clip I posted. Maybe an hour or two after, but we have it timestamped. We know when I posted my clip. And so, a little bit after my clip was out and it went viral, Justice himself brags and basically is saying he beat me, right? He's saying he won and he's bragging. And somehow they're saying that I got DQ'd early because this is 9:30 p.m. There was nothing ever publicly released regarding the ban, and he's already making this tweet at 9:30 p.m. So he's already saying that I got banned before it happened. Or DQ'd, which doesn't matter because in the situation, somehow he was aware of the DQ. I don't know how that got leaked to him, whatever. But the fact is, he was literally going out of his way to brag about it, and trying to act like he's dominant or whatever. So this is toxic behavior. and he clearly didn't show any effort to fix it by showing this behavior. He wasn't trying to fix it. He was trying to leave me to burn so everyone could just gang up on me and label me as a racist now. So this shows that he made no effort to fix the situation, and he added fuel to it. And then the last thing I'll show is this is actually the next day, but this was like, yeah, towards the end of it already. But regardless, now he's trying to justify it. Now he's trying to say that, oh, well, you know what, I was just referring to dogs, so, like, I didn't know it was slang. And so he's actually, like, acknowledging that he did call me a mutt, but he's trying to, like, dodge it and say, oh, I was just talking about dogs, though. However, he instigated a fight by doing this. He did use a slur, and he's trying to dodge that. He's trying to dodge both of those things, that he instigated it and that it is a slur. And he shouldn't have used it regardless. He should not have made it personal regardless. And this shows also at the end where he says that it wasn't my decision to even ban him. He did that to himself. Okay, but the fact is, going back to the other tweet, he's bragging about it in this post. So what's, really, are you sure I did it to myself? Or does it seem like, you intended to get me banned and you made no effort to get me unbanned? Because that's what it looks like here. Based on his behavior, he was being toxic and bragging about it. So clearly, he didn't even try to, look into it. He didn't even try to help clear it up. He left me hanging. He left me burning so that everyone can get me. And, the TOs left it up to justice, by the way, because that's what Aaron told me. This is why I'm mad about it. It's because the TO himself had the power to address it. He had the power to summon us both in the same room and squash it. He had the authority to do such a thing. And guess what? He just dismissed it. He let this guy off. He just said, you know what? Like, you got to fix it and you're out. And he walked away from it. Like, the TO just didn't even bother to stick around. He literally just left me hanging. And, I felt uncomfortable in the venue the rest of the weekend. I didn't want to be there anymore. Everyone was just, like, probably looking at me in an angry way, and everyone was just angry at me and bullying and harassing me, and which is not good, by the way. None of that shit is okay. If you think that it's okay to keep bullying, harass someone because the word on the street is that it's cool to do that. The word on the street, this guy's the bad guy, so let's make fun of him. Let's get him. Like, you guys are all the problem for doing that. The whole point of this is that I'm clearing it up for everyone here. People want an apology. People want me to take the video down, but I'm going straight by the book, straight to the facts here. Just objectively, I'm showing you how it was. I'm showing you, the timestamps and everything that happened, the order of it, and justice has not even shown that he was, basically he didn't even acknowledge that he messed up. He didn't even acknowledge that he instigated anything, at the very least. The only thing he acknowledged is that he did call me a mutt, but he's still dodging everything. He did accuse me first. Justice is the accuser in the situation. And I will go back to that one more time here, because it is true that he is the instigator and also he is the accuser, because him putting out this tweet is already labeling me as a racist and leaving me hanging, leaving me to burn. And this is his intention originally, clearly, right? Because he bragged shortly after in this post saying he got me DQ'd, and that's what he's basically saying here. He's trying to brag that he beat me in singles when it never happened. He's trying to say he got me DQ'd essentially, because he's the one that really, that made the accusation, and he's not even like considering the mess that he started by making it a racial thing when it never was. Maybe off speculation it looked that way to him. Maybe off an assumption it looked that way to him. But the fact is, it just wasn't a racial thing. And if anyone is continuously saying, oh, why can't you see this and that? Why can't you see that it's insensitive? Why can't you see that there's a comparison? That means those people are being racist by suggesting that. So, from this point on, there's not much else to say here. I've already explained myself. And, I hope that the community can see that I am being entirely honest here. This is a sincere explanation, and this is just me showing exactly how it went down and how it was treated and how it was handled. And you know what? Like, I've seen the true nature of the community. I've seen the true nature of everyone around me, and I've seen people. Some people did stick up for me. I do appreciate that, and I will. I believe I will recover from this. And if the community tries to permanently ban me out for this one, I will say that, it just shows how bad the state of it is. That anyone can say anything now, and it could be pinned on you. And it does seem like people ride with the opinion too fast, and the assumptions are made, and like hearsay is always true no matter what. And even if it's a misunderstanding, even if it's just like speculation, like when the mob gets you and the mob just says like you're guilty, they don't care, and there's nothing you could say to them that makes it better. There's nothing that could ever fix it, because the fact is, even if I were to take the tweet down, even if I would have taken the tweet down right away, the TO himself still was going to keep me banned, and he said that. The TO didn't say he would unban me. He didn't say anything about unbanning me at all. He just said, look, this looks bad, and it does appear racist, and he left me hanging. So, regardless, I've said what I need to say already, and yeah, that covers the main things here. That covers the Riptide meme, that it was already there. The beginning of the video, I really went over that. I've already acknowledged top players that have used the meme. I've already acknowledged that it really is the real Harambe that's posted up, and the poster was always there in every room, mostly every room, and it was never a thing. It was never a racial thing. Nobody was ever suggesting that Harambe in the room had any tie to anyone's race. It was always just there in the background, and suddenly now when NoFluxes uses it, just because he's saying one guy ain't shit, all of a sudden this is like there's a connection. All of a sudden, that's the word that this has to be a racial slur. This has to be some kind of prejudice thing. And no, it's not. Like, I never had a problem with Justice. I wish he did. He never accused me here. I wish he never tried to get me banned, and he just would have been able to squash it and just handle it on the spot, because he ran from the situation. Justice made no attempt to even try to like settle it and like squash it. He actually ran. He left me hanging because he knew that he could do that. He knew that he had the power and the control over it himself. All he had to do was stall it and just dodge it, and he knew for sure I wasn't gonna be unbanned. So with that being said, I already went over everything here. My clip is still up for reference and evidence, and I really hope the community can come to their senses and see that regardless, like, it's still a misunderstanding. And if you want to say I'm racist just because you think it is, just because that's what the word on the street is, it's still just hearsay, and it's still just speculation. There's not actually anything that really shows that it was racist ever. You may have perceived it that way, and that's unfortunate that people are making this connection, but there just isn't one. And it's always been a Riptide tradition to just celebrate with Harambe. And if it was in the camera, if it was shot in the background, that's it had nothing to do with Justice. It had nothing to do with his race, and that's the last that I will say. I hope the community at least sees that it was an innocent meme that was already there, and I've explained myself. And harassing and bullying me doesn't make it better. I just want to play the game, and if people want to take that away from me and you want to take away my rights, it does seem unfair, because, again, try to take away my rights based off just that is not actually evidence. That's not proof that there's any, racist thing about me. And we'll leave it at that. Just remember, guys, that this is the real Christopher. This is not the character NoFluxes. This is actually the real person behind the camera explaining myself. And I understand this is viral right now. I understand that people are angry, for sure. But just know that the people involved in this did not make any attempt to make it better either. The TOs handled it very poorly. Justice himself just really wasn't trying to fix it. He had the power. He did have the power to shut it down and even allow me to play again. He did have the power to tell the TOs, look, it was just a joke. It was a misunderstanding. Let's forget about it. Instead, he didn't take that approach. He decided to just use that. Maybe he got a couple likes off it. Maybe he felt good about it. But by doing so, he labeled me as a racist. He did. And, it's an accusation. It's a harsh accusation. But the fact is, he's the one that used slurs. He's the one that instigated it. Remember that. All right. Well, that's all for now, guys. And peace out. Just one more thing real quick that I wanted to add into the video. So I did make an attempt to really work it out with Justice the same night the clip was released. And it was actually still around 10 p.m. as you can see. It was around 10 p.m. before my singles bracket. Because my singles bracket was at 4 p.m. the next day on Saturday. So this was actually before that. This was Friday night, and I had attempted to reach out to Justice, and I was willing to shake on it. I could have apologized to him if he allowed me the chance to. He did not allow me the chance to even meet up or even, make an attempt. He dodged me, and the TO also just did not help me get in contact with him. And regardless, at least I can show the evidence that I made an attempt before they banned me entirely. They could have still unbanned me. They still could have at least worked it out easily. The situation could have been handled if they allowed us to meet up or, regardless, I could have taken the tweet down easily. I could have taken the clip down. He could have had me face-to-face meet up with Justice, and possibly, it could have even been the best case scenario is that I could have apologized to him, and I would have been able to squash all of it. We could have handled this in a civil way, and, for real, like, I'm being honest here, and anyone could try to tell me, like, you know what, you could have done more, but the fact is, we could say that about anyone involved here, and I know that everyone's going to point the finger at me. I understand that, but just clarifying that I did go out, I did actually make an attempt, and I did what I could that night. I did everything that I could in terms of, reaching out to people, and I even, I had people that were close to Justice reach out to him. I know that people like, Salt and, many others, Trail also included in this, were trying to reach out to him privately, and Justice for the rest of the night dodged me. He didn't reply to my DMs. He didn't even try to talk to the TOs about it. Instead, he went and he did brag that I was DQ'd. I still have the post to show that once more. He definitely went out of his way to pretty much boast that I got DQ'd, and he even said, "Oh, I beat Fluxes." The fact that he was acting like this about the situation just presents the fact that he wasn't making any attempt to squash it and shut it down. So he wanted it to get out of control. He liked the idea that they're all gonna piggyback on it, and nobody was gonna save me. Obviously, nobody was gonna speak up and say, "Oh, like you gotta do something too." In terms of whether it was the TO or Justice, like they weren't gonna act like they should even give me the chance. Instead, I'm the one that's being pointed the finger at, and they pinned it on me, and I tried. Aaron was very unprofessional about it, and I would like to state once more that Aaron, the fact that he was dismissive towards everything, including the fact that I'm a minority too, again, he just kept saying that it didn't matter in the situation, and for him to tell me that, I don't think he should be saying that. I don't think it was, a good look for him to be saying that, considering he's not a minority in this situation, So regardless, we'll see what happens from this point on. I think it was good to add in this last part. Adding in this last part does show that at least I was trying to sell it I was trying to even own up to it. I could have apologized if he allowed me the chance to meet up, and I said I would. I said I would shake on it. Just the fact that I was even clarifying it had nothing to do with race, and he dodged me the whole night just proves that he let it blow out of proportion on purpose. So that's all for now. Peace out.